Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Talking About Birds, the only Cardinal podcast that, like the Cardinals front office during the offseason, can't remember deal or no deal. My name is Nate Heininger, and I am joined by my co-host, Ben Samorka.
Hey, Nate. What's up, dude?
Thank you to the person who sent us in that as a opening bit via text message. I believe this is the person that we've referred to as the Bit Lord in the past, a frequent contributor. If you have an idea for the opening bit, text or leave us a voicemail at 848-48-BIRDS. That, of course, being a reference to 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that's some podcast lore right there. What are we doing?
Well, to be fair to them, they sent that in on release day of that episode.
Oh, okay. Yours are the slow
but
one.
The fanfare of Wilson Contreras throwing a bucket of haichu on the field felt like a more of the moment reference to use. But I liked that one enough. I guess, saying the front office is so inept during the offseason, they can't even remember to say deal or no deal. Much like us.
I get it. Why are you explaining it to me? What are you doing?
It feels like you didn't get it. And I'm worried, and maybe the listeners
Are
don't
you
get
worried
it
that
as
you're
well.
not going to be able to talk enough on this episode, so you're front loading it or something? What is happening?
We got to get it in there. I got minutes to clock, or else I'm not a part of the Podcasters Guild. Of which you think they'd let it, if there was a guild of podcasters, could we get in? Can we unionize? Who do we unionize against?
We could.
Ourselves?
I was going to say it's entirely self-employed. I guess that really we're just combating the listener at this point. So yeah,
I'm forming a union against the listeners.
That's smart.
Not enough 5 stars.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense. And I mean, it cannot be argued that we are podcasters. That is a matter of fact.
It's happening. They're out there.
Just the barrier for entry is extremely low.
It's guerrilla radio, pirate radio. We're the new frontier.
Nothing is more punk rock than a Cardinals-focused podcast. Yep, you get it.
Yep. Yeah.
Let's talk about our corporation that we like.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that treats all of its fans like shit. Yeah, we're pretty punk rock around here, doing free marketing for the St. Louis Cardinals.
That's right.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hambone, once again, I'll be seeing you this weekend, unfortunately, for like the 9th time this year. It's too much. The distance between us, I thought would be enough to keep you out of my general vibe. But I'll be seeing you this weekend.
There's good news.
We come together.
There's going to be a lot of people. It's a bachelor party, so we don't even really have to talk. We have to be in the same room.
I know,
but we don't have to interact. So it's going to be totally.
That's a good point. There's a lot of other guys. We can't talk about it too much because it is to celebrate friend of the show, Brandon, and another guy we call Biscuit. And it's mostly a secret. And he listens to the show, so I know he's maybe listening.
I don't think it's too much to say that we will be together, is it?
It might actually be a surprise to him that you're coming in town. So there's that. But I guess I just spoiled that.
All right. Edit point. Remove all that.
We don't edit this show. You know that. But it should be fun. So we're keeping it a secret what we're doing. But Hambone and I will be together this weekend, hanging out, having good times. I guess we'll see how it goes. We'll report back on, on next week's episode. But you're coming in like 9 times over the next 3 months, so maybe we got to do another live episode.
Yeah, I think
always go well.
You know me, I'm lobbying to cancel Christmas, so maybe we can cancel Christmas once and for all. But yes, I will be in probably 9 more times. Got to get those flight points, baby.
Oh, we love a medallion, don't we, folks? You want to cancel Christmas just in general because you want to cancel all holidays, similar to how you want to cancel all fun, right?
No, I think you're misunderstanding. I like, Labor Day, great holiday. Let's go.
Oh yeah.
3-day weekend.
Yeah. Did you do any? Yeah. What'd you do? Any any Labor Day festivities?
Shout out to a friend that listens sometimes. Daniel Michael Baum.
Oh, sure.
Mike Dan Baum. Big Mike. Whatever you want.
We love a full name on this podcast.
40th birthday party. We went up to the mountains and I drank like a 22-year-old. It was disgusting. I felt terrible.
Yeah.
But we did some kayaking. We climbed the front side of Winter Park Ski Resort in the middle of the day. And about halfway through the hike, it decided to rain and hail on us. And nothing gets the blood going like a little bit of hail up your shorts. But it was a great time.
Hail up your shorts. You have the handstanding up that
That's how much hail there was, Nathan. That's how much hail there was.
Wow. That's incredible. I'm sorry that you survived.
Got a pretzel at the top. It was great.
That sounds wonderful. We spent a little bit of time at the Lake of the Ozarks. Me and my two young children got dumped off of a raft, like a tube situation behind a boat. Certainly creating some core memories for them as they were flung into the water. So that was fun. Real cool, real chill. But yeah, it was a beautiful weekend. Hey, if you're out there listening and you're in the United States, we hope you had a wonderful Labor Day as well. Wow.
The punk rock.
I don't know why I felt. Yeah.
You fucking suck. Let's just move it on. Let's just talk about the Cardinals.
This is the punk rock.
I'm not even saying that we need to be punk rock, but I feel like we are going way too opposite the other way right now. So
we've referred to there's nothing more bad boys of Cardinal podcasting than wishing everyone a fun and safe Labor Day.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, only to Americans, as you pointed out.
Well, yeah, get your own holiday if you're out there.
No, I think we need more bank holidays, more work holidays. I think that we need to adopt that European lifestyle where they have off what is like mandatory 5.5 weeks or something like that. We work too much.
Something like that. Yeah, UK does a year of parental leave too, which is pretty sweet. Vast majority of it paid. So
I think I'd have a kid. If that's how it was here, I think I'd have a kid.
Great reason to go into parenthood. The benefits you get from work. All right, let's talk about the Cardinals. You're right. I guess we're going to start off with a hot topic. Jordan Walker is back in Slumpsville. We did get a dinger. We love a dinger. But it's been Slumpsville, and there's been a little bit of reporting on it. Hambone, do you want to fill us in on this?
Yeah, on Tuesday, Cardinals manager Ali Marmol and hitting coach Brant Brown. We love Brant Brown. He's got so much good press, and then he's kind of disappeared. They joined KMOX, and Brown they were kind of asked about the slumps and just kind of the team in general. And Brown pointed out to Jordan Walker's preparation as a main cause for the outfielders' poor hitting that we've seen for the past 2-ish years. And I'll now read a quote from Mr. Brown. He said, at some point in time, he's going to have to devote kind of a more focus on preparation. We've had long conversations about this. It's not only looking at film on the starter, but also being able to come in and on the first day of a series, like just take a look at the bullpen guys. Like all of the information in the videos available, just so we're not, getting snuck up on when a reliever comes in. Brown continued on, end of quote. Brown continued on explaining that it's not just Walker, but the team as a whole has a tendency to sell out for certain pitches. And by that, he means just like sit there and be like, okay, Jason Adam throws a high fastball. It's all we're doing is looking for that high fastball, and we're putting our A++ swing on it. And I think that makes a lot of sense when you watch these Cardinal games every night. There's a lot of, there's just not a lot of, other than Ivan Herrera, not a lot of things that are really inspiring awe or making you think, oh, there's the future. And I think that, while I think we've been extremely defensive of Jordan Walker ever since he's come up, and we've kind of been marching to the drum or the tune of like, just let him do his thing. Let him hit the ball.
Yeah,
If it's
give him time.
The launch angle and all that stuff has been the concern. This is the first time I can really remember hearing a Cardinals hitting coach calling out a player so specifically. And then I also find it completely, I know not all the information is useful for everyone. And some players don't know how to take that information and to turn it into real life situations. Like, okay, this guy's spin rate is this, and he tunnels that pitch with this, and, yada, yada, yada. They can't always translate that into real life success or apply that to the game in a real way. Some guys can. I think I can say pretty confidently, having never played Major League Baseball, that looking at film and reading as much as you can about the upcoming opposing pitchers is probably inherently helpful no matter how you intake and apply information. So it's not like the most damning thing I've ever read, but I thought it was pretty eye-opening and Colby Rasmus adjacent, which is not a compliment.
Yeah, it's interesting because I'd love to know a little bit more about the root cause of this. Is this something that is prioritized in the dugout and in the clubhouse, and every guy knows that this is a thing that is available, it's everywhere, and most of the team is doing it, and it's Jordan Walker is personally making the choice, or rather lack thereof, to participate? If that's the case, then yeah, it seems like that's pretty alarming. Now, if you want to go like true empathetic on this, like Walker is a guy who barely played professional baseball before he became a major leaguer. And so the vast majority of his growth and development as a baseball player at this point has been in the arms of the major league staff. Now, I know they've sent him down a bunch, but he's been viewed by the major league staff for, the bulk of his career at this point. And so is it only just now that they're realizing that this guy needs work on preparation? I imagine part of the reason he ascended so quickly is his freak of nature, athleticism that allowed him to basically just big guy his way into the majors before he'd even really proved it in the minors. So I would say if it's lack of preparation, this must be to some degree some learned behavior. Of course, we would love every player to come up and immediately be the guy who's like the gym rat. I'm absorbing every piece of information that's available to me. That's an obviously ideal. But if he's never had to do it in the past, you could argue that it's kind of up to the big league staff to help bring this guy up to the major league level as far as that goes.
But they're
which
saying
speaks to the broader.
They're saying that they are trying to do that, and he's not listening or he's not intaking it.
Well, except for they say, and then Brown kind of walks it back by saying a lot of guys are doing this.
Yeah,
so he calls out Walker directly, but then says it's not just Walker, it's other players too. Right. So what is the sort of clubhouse environment around this sort of data? Again, I'm not trying to make excuses for Walker, like regardless of the learned behavior and the path that got him to this point, seems pretty clear that the major league level, regardless of where you're at, like the access to data and availability, and if you're struggling the way he is struggling, I would expect a guy to be doing absolutely everything possible to get better. So there's certainly some self-driven element to this. I'm just curious about the overall access and push for this sort of thing for a player like him.
Yeah, and I think like coachability is huge. Like if your hitting coach is coming in and telling you to do something and you have a WRC plus well under 100, or whatever metric you want to look at that's well below what it should be, how the hell are you not just like, you know what, I should try this because what I'm doing is clearly not working. And I haven't been successful for essentially over 2 years at this point. I'm going to let this guy tell me what to do. I think like you were hitting on this, it begs a broader question. Like, well, when the hell did this start? Like, is this an Ali Marmol problem? Is this back when the Mike Schilt days? Has this been going on for longer than that? Like how long have the Cardinals been identified as this the sellout for certain pitches type of offense? And again, I'm not a Major League Baseball player. I've never hit, I don't know anything. But anytime you hear a good hitter talk, they're always talking about you sit on the fastball and adjust for the breaking stuff. And it's reactionary. It's not just some guys can be guess hitters, but most good players are not. And I think just straight up being a guess hitter and selling out is probably not an easy way to live for most people. So it seems like we are there's something rotten here, and that is not. This reminds me of, was it reported last year or the year before, where I think Derek Gould reported that Cardinals players or Cardinals pitchers are told just to throw the ball down the middle.
Yeah, it was like aim for the glove or something like that.
Yeah.
And not cool.
Yeah.
Which, to tie it into another broader point that I've mentioned a couple times, a lot of people, especially in like fandom and whatnot, are so protective of the vibe of this team and saying like, well, we can't trade Brendan Donovan because what about the vibes? But my argument has been, well, maybe this version of vibes is bad. Like maybe this vibe of like the hang loose, that thing that they're doing, like it's not fostering an environment of get in there and do the work, so I don't know. Obviously things are rotten. The team is playing at an all-time low right now. We've talked about there being little glimmers of hope, maybe for like if you really kind of think maybe they've got a chance, it's pretty much done at this point as we're in September, and they fall further and further below 500. I mean, we get good games every once in a while still. That's part of being a around 500 team, but the vibes are not good. And also the injuries are continuing.
Well, before we move on,
stack up.
I do want to, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on just like the general idea of a hitting coach calling out a young player on radio. Do you think, is this obviously I would be very shocked to learn that Brant Brown was just like, you know what? I'm coming after Jordan today. I'm sure this was a conversation in between him and Marmol. Do you think, I'll just leave it there. Do you think this is an effective way to communicate to your young player?
Well, it's curious, right? Because we've seen this done poorly in the past. It was one of the number one criticisms against Oli Marmol early in his tenure, was the calling out of individual players at the press level, while seemingly not providing that feedback to the player in the moment. To me, a coach at any level going and sharing this sort of stuff at the press, I am assuming, hopefully, that this has been communicated repeatedly to the person directly. And if it continues to not get results and change, that's when you go to the press, because at that point, like, it's not my problem anymore, and people need to understand what the source of his struggles are. That's what I'm hopeful here.
Yeah.
That's good communication internally and externally, because we as fans do want to know this sort of stuff.
This is gold. Are you kidding? Yeah, I wish we had something like this every week. This is great.
Yeah, right. So we're happy to know this, but what we hope is that Jordan Walker isn't finding this out right now too, right? And with this sort of specific feedback around like watching tape and things like that, I would certainly, I'm just going to assume this is not the first time that Walker has heard this. Brant Brown, he does interviews, but he's not a super public figure. This isn't like Oli Marmol just taking a question right after the call, right after a game or something, being emotional. But counterpoint, he doesn't do a ton of interviews, so maybe he's not used to this, and maybe he just accidentally spilled something that he hasn't shared yet. But I'm just going to assume, if communicated appropriately internally, then I think this is fine. And maybe it's the kick a player needs sometimes. That happens. Like, you need to be called out at a higher level to understand the importance of it. Because I mean, at this point, like, another deep extended rut for Walker, and if the team feel like they identified the issue, they've told him, and he's not doing it, then you're starting to get to, we don't care about your upside, buddy. You're never going to get it with this sort of approach, and it's time to go somewhere else or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I mostly agree with you. It is just again, I find it extremely frustrating from a fan standpoint of like
Mhm.
you'd like to think that all these guys are doing everything they can to be as good as they can be and
Yeah.
be set themselves up for as much success as possible. And then you read
I
something
don't
like
think
this and it's I don't know, it just
it's
seems crazy to me. Like I've never been that talented where I could just pick things up like that. Like he
yeah.
the way that he's picked up baseball and the way he's been great since he was a wee child. So it's just hard to put myself
Well,
in
I
that
think
mental
that's part of
space.
it. That's part of it, right? Though, is that you hear this from guys like this in any industry. Like if it's something that's just sort of come natural to you and you've always been able to get at it. I mean, there's hard work no matter what. Don't get me wrong. He had to get hard work to become that physical and whatnot. But if like the skill side of the game has always just sort of came to him and it didn't require that sort of additional mental game, you can understand why that would take time. But he's been here long enough. I'd expect that to come along. But that again speaks to I would not expect it to be coming along if the team has never told him that that's important, you
Right.
know? So that's where I'm curious. Like, we need to understand more of the background that got to this point. But on
Well,
the
I guess
surface, it's not a good look. You know, I
right.
agree with you. Like, it's not a good look.
And also, I kind of find it like the fact that you would need to be told that that's important is very silly to me. But,
Sure.
people are different and things are different. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. That's all. I just wanted to make sure we hit that. But
Yeah.
we'll be tracking this one, Nathan.
Oh,
Keep my ear to the
we
ground.
will. Wow. All right. Let's talk about some of the injuries. And we've got a few updates and a few new ones. Riley O'Brien, he was starting to ascend maybe as the new Cardinal closer, at least in platoon with Jojo Romero based off of matchups and usage and things like that. Getting pretty excited, but he is looks like he's going to be out for a while. We don't really know with shoulder soreness. You never
Yep.
like to hear shoulder soreness from your pitchers. Yeah, I mean, it seems like everything's clear, but at this point in the season, are they going to prioritize his return, let him get healthy and be ready for 2026? I guess we don't know yet.
Yeah. MRI came back clean. Woof. So that's good news. But yeah, this is like we have a month left of baseball. It'd be great to get him healthy. There's no point to rush him. We have this guy for another 5+ years.
Yeah.
There's nothing imminent or nothing required from Riley O'Brien right now, other than the fact that we're just watching like a bullpen that is noticeably less than where we were before the trade deadline. But obviously that was happening, and they haven't been horrible. But
Well,
yeah,
I was
it's
gonna
a
say it
bummer.
didn't feel that way until relatively recently, but as like the line that came in immediately after the trade was great, but as soon as that starts to fall, you're like, okay,
Well,
we're in the depths of our of our bullpen, right?
and Granillo just hasn't figured it out yet. Roycroft is
Yeah,
back up, and we've seen him. Obviously the stuff is there. Ryan Fernandez hasn't been terrible, but hasn't been what he was last year. At least we got Matt Swanson.
yeah, yeah. I mean, he might be the actual dude, right? Like, we'll see, but he's been good. He's been great. So,
He's so
um,
big. He's a big, big,
yeah,
scary boy.
yeah. Yeah, same. Alec Burleson
Mm.
is also uh, hurt with right wrist inflammation. How you feeling about our boy Burley?
This is not good because he's a hitter and it's a wrist injury, which, but it doesn't sound like it's the end of the world. I think that of all injuries, it's not good.
Yeah,
Because you don't want any of your players injured at any time, but it's almost like I feel like we know what Burley is. Burley had a nice year. He hit more than I expected him to, which is great. But this means that you can have more time for Nathan Church in the outfield. This means
yeah,
that maybe we'll see a little bit more of some of the other young guys that were called up that we'll talk about here in a second. Um, for the kind of cold baseballism answer of like we need to see what other guys have, and you can't really sit Burley. So the fact that he's down, it's almost beneficial. It's not quite, but you know what I'm getting at?
Yeah, of course. Of the guys that you're like, well, if we could get some more at bats for someone else, Burleson, he's been a topic of discussion all season. Right now, it's so tricky to decide what to do with him. And I imagine the Cardinals feel the same way. I've kind of been in that spot for a while now. He's expected to be back, which is good. So I expect this number to go up. But right now, he is at 1.6 Fangraphs WAR on the season. We have said the general thinking is that league average for a full season from a full-time player is 2 F4. That number will go up and down over years, but 2 is a good benchmark. If you hit 2, you can say I'm a league average player. Well, barring a very hot return and like 3 weeks, Alec Burleson is very likely going to end the season as a below average starter at the major league level. What do we do with that? We know he can hit the ball. He's got a 120 WRC plus, 20% better than the average hitter. But the whole package is providing under major league average.
Yeah, I think he is a great fit for a team that needs a DH, a left-handed DH. And, once we figure out what the deal with Ivan Herrera is, if he's going to play in the field or DH or start in left more or whatever, maybe he does make sense for the Cardinals. But as we've said, I don't know. I'm feeling kind of down in the dumps on the team right now. I'm like, we're probably not going to be competitive next year. And I don't know. We have these apparently like really deep hitting philosophy issues. And, there's not, I don't know. I'm kind of feeling down in the dumps right now.
I mean, this is the doldrums of the season, right?
Yeah.
We're in the dog days of summer, as they say. We're well past Augie Doggy at this point. We are straight into September. Spooky season's right around the corner. I'm shivering in my little boots over here as the leaves on the trees change colors. Well, I thought that was quite evocative.
Okay.
Someone liked it. People out there liked it.
Are the leaves changing colors in St. Louis right now?
They're starting to.
Are they?
Yes.
Okay.
Are they not in out there in Colorado town?
Not really, not yet.
But you got those beautiful yellow aspens. Wow.
Nothing more beautiful.
What is it, a leaf lurker? Is that the term?
No, that's what I call them because I think it sounds. Oh wait, no, we call them leaf peepers. Normal people call them leaf lurkers. Sorry, yeah.
Okay,
I got it mixed up.
So leaf lurkers is the normal one.
Yes.
Leaf peepers is yours.
They love it. Nothing better than a car stopped on the side of the highway and 2 people from Ohio getting out to take pictures of trees.
Oh yeah, we love trees. Different trees, tall ones, short ones, yellow ones,
as big as your head.
Wow, we love them, don't we, folks? Love a tree. What were we? Yeah. So again, this is like the worst time of the year for the fan base. It has been that way now 3 years straight. We don't have anyone particularly exciting to look at. Well, that's not entirely true. Then call up that we'll get to here in a moment. But we're just waiting for I guess maybe just for it to be over, but I don't know. I'm still hopeful for a JJ appearance or something like that.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah. Let's talk about Pozo. We're all a bunch of Pozo bozos, aren't we, around here? But he's gonna be riding the pine for a little bit as he's on the IL for concussion protocol.
Yep. Should be back on September 5th. Hopefully everything's fine, but we are certainly a bunch of Pozo bozos.
Yes. So because of that, because the Pozo bozo squad is on ice, the team did call up someone that we have had varying degrees of excitement over the last few years. At times, this guy has been considered the catcher of the future. He's got an S tier baseball name right behind Nathan Church, I would say. It is your boy, Jimmy Crooks.
Yeah.
Jimmy Crooks is here. Small sample size so far. But it was pointed out in the bird scored, he's been given a low number as far as jerseys go, which could just be luck of the draw. Could be a sign of things to come. I don't know. How are you feeling about Crooks so far?
Yeah, I mean, I think, as has, I haven't watched a ton of Jimmy Crooks footage, but as has been reported by Fangraphs and the people, the kind of in the sphere of influence around the Cardinals and the Cardinals themselves and everywhere. I mean, I think he is the catcher of the future. This is one of the best defensive catchers in the minor leagues. He can hit a little bit. We saw a nice doink against the Reds the other day. That was really fun. He doesn't wear batting gloves, which I think gives him at least +1 point. And he had a nice, his past 2 years in the minors offensively has been good. And that's, he is a plus defensive catcher and might be a decent hitter. I think this is really exciting. I've kind of complained about Pagés and Pozo over this calendar year, really, to varying degrees. And it's nice to have when Pagés is hot right now. But I don't fully believe in his bat. I do think that Pagés is a good defender. But if we could have 2+ defenders, and if Crooks is either getting the lion's share or they're just doing a 50-50 split, I think it makes a lot of sense. Having a right-handed and a left-handed hitting catcher is weird and kind of a manager's dream. Like, give Pagés, the against the day off against really hard right-handed pitchers, and do the same for Crooks, and hopefully get a nice balance, and they develop relationships with their respective starting pitchers, and they're both good behind the dish. I think this is, if offense comes from them, either of them, that's a huge win. But this is like, if I am drafting a fantasy team on MLB The Show, like, I think this is an ideal situation. You have a platoon advantage at catcher, and they're both good defenders. That's perfect.
Yeah. And we're seeing that more and more across the league as teams, because having a full-time major league ready or major league quality catcher is really hard, and so more and more teams are doing going more of a 50-50 split rather than like the traditional 70-30 or even 80-20 for your high-end wins. Of course, there's the Cal Rallies and the like out there still. There'll always be those exceptions, but this more down the middle split is becoming more and more common. And maybe that's what we're headed to. But at times you've been, I'd say, Chief Pozo Bozo. You've been putting the little nose on your nose. You've been fluffing up your big curly red hair. Is it just a mild concussion is all it takes to to pack him into his little car and send him out?
There was a time. I mean, I think we all knew, and we called this out before he was even called up. Like, this guy hits like no one else, really, or very, very, very few players in recent memory, even. It is all swing all the time.
Hard to maintain.
All swing all the time. There's more power than I thought that there was going to be originally, especially with how high his contact rate is. It's insane.
Sometimes he just does like a straight uppercut swing and he connects.
It is wild. And I will say it is entertaining and it is fun to watch. And he's had some clutch moments, which is, easy to endure. But he's not a great defensive catcher. He's not great on the base paths. I think he is an interesting and fun pinch hitter at times, but I don't think Pozo is in the long-term plans for your St. Louis Cardinals. I think that the Ivan Herrera injuries and the perceived poor defense or behind the plate awareness or arm throwing or whatever you want to call it is why we got here. But Pagés is clearly a better defender. Pagés right now looks like a better hitter, although I don't think that that's true in the long term. And this team is growing catchers like weeds. So why take the 28-year-old weird offensive profile bad defender when you have a guy who, like I said, the industry seems to think is a potential Gold Glove caliber catcher Jimmy Crooks coming up right now.
And again, Jimmy Crooks, fun to say. I hope to say it for a long time. Yeah, I think you're right. My only concern here is that, like, okay, we're replacing one catcher with a catcher, but that's a net zero catcher move. We have a golden opportunity here to increase our total catcher load by when Pozo comes back, keeping him on the bench as a pinch hitter. And now we're rocking even more catchers in the lineup, which we know to be a valuable way to build a roster.
It's an easy decision. You drop Garrett Hampson and call up Pozo, right?
There you go.
It's easy.
Yeah. What does Hampson do that Pozo can't do? And let's think about the crowd enjoyment of Pozo as our backup shortstop, Pozo as our backup center fielder. I mean, why not at this point?
We're having
fun, aren't we?
Yeah, let it rip.
Yeah, let it rip. We also got another intriguing prospect call up, César Prieto, acquired during the 2023 trade deadline. What do you think we're getting out of it? Why the Prieto call up? Instead of another highly touted second base prospect that we have, down there, ready and waiting.
Yeah, and I think that exactly what it is. It's this guy is interesting, but he is not high end, and he is 26 years old. Obviously, the Cardinals found something in him that they liked. Maybe they just wanted to pluck somebody out of the very good Orioles farm and just maybe pluck, get some information from him. But he's a high contact guy. He's a left-handed.
Okay, hold on. So are you positing that sometimes we trade for guys just to get them to tell us a little bit about what's going on inside that other development situation?
Would not surprise me.
Yeah.
Would not surprise me at all.
Just like we traded Ryan Helsley to be a sleeper agent to bomb the Mets chances at the wild card spot.
Are you telling me that the Cardinals front office wouldn't want to know what's happening in the development system of the Dodgers?
Yeah. Well, we did learn from oh my God, Brandon Crawford. Remember, he apparently brought some ground ball machine to spring training that no one had ever heard of before.
This is what I'm talking. Why wouldn't you, like, if you're trading for a César Prieto and he's been in the Baltimore farm system and Baltimore keeps producing Gunnar Hendersons and the like, why would you not ask him those questions? I would.
Sure. I guess asking the questions is one thing. Specifically acquiring a person in order to get information, I guess, was the...
Oh, no. I mean, they are obviously, they traded for Jack Flaherty. Yeah. I don't think that they we don't really like Prieto, but we can interview him. No, I don't think that's how it went.
Okay.
But
anyway,
thanks for grilling me on that one. Make sure we got that.
It's an intriguing, I'm here for some subterfuge and whatnot. So
I mean, we know these guys they're thinking outside of the box. They're hacking emails. They're logging into servers Eckstein22.
Eckstein.
But so anyways, Prieto, he is not a glove guy. He is a contact guy. Not a ton of power, not a ton of speed. Kind of a one-tool player, and that tool is all right. But I think it really comes down to the fact that he's 26 years old, and they kind of want to see what they got in this player. And I don't know. I could see him not even being up all that long. I could see, he's not going to be playing the outfield. He's not really great at the positions he's been playing. But maybe something will happen. I don't know. This is not a guy that I'm particularly excited about.
No, and I wonder, this is something that we probably could have looked up before. So someone maybe let us know after the fact, but is there a Rule 5 element going on here? He's been in the minors for long enough. It might be something where they just wanted to get him on the 40-man, give him a shot and protect him from the Rule 5 draft if they actually see him as a potential long-term piece or just more valuable than letting go in Rule 5. I don't know, but there's that happens a little bit in these September call-ups too, as the team just modifies their 40-man to prepare for off-season movements.
Right. I don't have that in front of me, but he is 26. He came over when he was 23. Yeah, that might be.
He's in that range, right? So, although I don't know why you would feel unless you really believe he has some sort of big league upside.
Yeah. So this is like, even in the minors, like he is maxed out in AAA with a 113 WRC plus.
Yeah.
Low K rate, decent walk rate, not a ton of power. But you still need these guys. Like this guy, maybe he is a good 25th, 26th man on your roster. The thing is, the Cardinals don't really need a left-handed hitting anything, but good player's a good player. Maybe he'll hit.
Yeah, we got a month. Give him some games. Couldn't be giving those at bats to anyone else.
Nope.
So you gotta do Prieto. And lastly, in sort of player movement news, Victor Scott is back.
Yes.
So it'll be interesting. How are they going to balance the Nathan Church versus Victor Scott thing? Worth keeping an eye on. Probably not enough games left to make any long-term decisions. I have a feeling, unless Nathan Church completely collapses in the next month, that he's being earmarked as a fourth outfielder type next year, or some sort of platoon with Victor Scott while both continue to develop at the major league level. We talked last week a lot about this, so I don't want to go into it too much, but it's good to see Victor Scott back.
For what it's worth, we are recording on Wednesday. The game that is being played tonight, we have Victor Scott at center field, Walker in right, and Newt in left. So no Nathan Church tonight. He did start over Jordan Walker last night, but we have a lefty going today. So I think the thought process is get Walker in against that lefty. But yeah, I think I don't know. It all feels very weird right now. I don't feel very stable in the lineup, or what everyone's doing, what Church is doing, what Scott is doing, what Walker is doing. Newpar's hitting a little bit right now, so I guess that feels good. But it's weird times right now in the Cardinals.
It is weird times. Well, let's talk about a positive thing. Ivan is back. He's been back for a little bit, and he's starting to hit like he did at the start of the season. So, I think the only question that still is wide open, and really we probably won't get an answer until next year, is what is his long-term position? Even though they're not doing it anymore, I'm still really intrigued by the Ivan in the outfield idea, if we truly believe he's not a catcher anymore, because otherwise it's like Burleson. It just completely tanks his value. But I'm just happy to see him hitting.
Yeah, I wonder, like, is he your first baseman of the future when Willson Contreras moves on? Could he play third? Is he an outfielder? Outfield seems like, just because of his speed and like his lack of reps out there, or lack of instincts, it seems unlikely. But I think it really just comes down to whether it's catcher or not. He needs a position in the field. The Cardinals have to want to make that work.
Yeah, I think we'll talk about this more as we get closer and closer to it. But I wonder if Willson Contreras, Sonny Gray, really those two, are going to reconsider their last offseason decisions around trades.
Yeah.
Considering it certainly doesn't seem like the Cardinals are going to be competitive in 2026. We had hoped that this season was minimum going to be sort of a launching pad for a successful 2026. Doesn't seem like it's going to be that way. Sonny Gray has 1 year left on his contract. Willson Contreras has 2. Gray, I don't know. I get the vibe that he might be just like, I'm just going to write it out. I'm just going to pitch. He's not even really crushing it right now anyway, although a team would certainly still trade for him. Contreras, though, he's still a valuable player. I think any competing team would be happy to have him, and I think he'd be a boon on any team that's trying to make a deep run. So I think you could trade him and get something good for him.
Yeah, I think the trade value of Willson Contreras isn't sky high, but we know he's a above average first baseman now. You could probably still have him catch if you're a team that's trading for him. So a guy with that type of versatility and a right-handed power bat, or an average, he's got a funny batting profile, but a guy that hits from the right side and hits the ball hard. I think there's value for that.
So this might all get solved this offseason, right? Or maybe that's the solve for Burleson, right? Burleson is your first baseman, and it gets a little bit better. We'll see. But if I were Wilson Contreras, I totally respect and understand both him and Sonny Gray wanting to stay for this year and see what happens. But now with such little time left on their contract and they're really in their peak end of peak years, like, yeah, it would not surprise me at all if their entire opinion changed. And now they're ready for a trade for the right spot, probably an Arenado type thing.
Right. And, maybe Chaim Bloom is like, hey, guys, here's the deal. We see ourselves this far away. Your contract's going to expire within that window. Why don't we work out a deal? And you can help out the Cardinals, and we can, hopefully go find you a competitive team like Wilson Contreras to the Giants.
Yeah. Hopefully the team remembers how to say deal or no deal.
Wow. That's really good.
Wow.
That was a good callback. Wow. A double callback, really.
Mm-hmm. This show has layers like a parfait. Everybody loves a damn parfait.
I like a parfait.
Oh, yeah. Ogres are like onions. So you wrote the question, but I'm going to pose it to you. Are you worried about Masyn Winn?
Got a 55 WRC plus in August, which is bad. Not Masyn Winn-esque at all. He's obviously playing through an injury right now, and I'm kind of at the point of to what end? Why are we doing this to Masyn Winn, who's my guy, who is the guy, who needs to be the one who writes this franchise, or at least a huge part of it. And it really feels like either he's slumping, or it's injury related, or it's both. It just really feels like not the best use of our Masyn Winn right now. And it's been a pretty long sustained downturn at this moment.
Yeah, we talked about this a bunch last week too, but I think shut her down. Shut her down. I get all the reasons not to, but I think there's more reasons to.
Yeah, I mean, his WRC plus on the season has dipped below 100. He's at 92 on the season. I think the lack of power has been very noticeable. Not stealing bases. It's just, I just don't get. Other than
40 chess, they're tanking his value so they can extend him for a better price.
That would be great, I guess. But pay the man also.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
But I think it's
Labor Day. We're not going to promote anti-worker sentimentality here.
I just think I think we're being a little silly at this point, and it's been sustained, and we only have a month left of baseball. It's all Let's stop this, please.
Again, I just wish there was a middle infielder down at the AAA, like that top of upper minors, routinely now considered a top 5 prospect, basically across the board. I just wish we had one of those who could come up and maybe bring some excitement and some big league development.
I'm pretty bummed about the major league roster right now, so I think that's a perfect time. Why don't we talk about some of the people on the farm really quick? JJ Wetherholt, in the last 37 games, all in AAA, has a 12% walk rate, a 15% K rate, a 167 WRC plus with 9 homers and 7 stolen bases. He has been incredible ever since he got promoted to AAA.
Yeah, I mean, I said it just a second ago, but prospect ranking lists, especially ones that are updating midseason and trying to stay on top of things, like he's top 5 everywhere right now. And it's a type of profile that typically translates pretty well to the major league level. Now, most people see his ceiling as like a 20, 25 home run guy. He certainly looks like more than that right now. Who knows? But that sort of power develops over time at the major league level. So don't expect him to come up and just start doinking dongs left and right. But that approach, hitting the ball hard, hitting for pretty good average out of the gates, stealing some bases, that seems very likely with his sort of profile and his success at every level that he's played at. So it just seems like a matter of time at this point. He's in that stage of, I don't know what else he has to prove. He's just going to have to keep doing it until the Cardinals decide to make that choice. Yep. And maybe it won't be this year, which would be a bummer. But maybe we've said in the past the Cardinals have rushed some guys. I don't know. Maybe it does make sense to let him just cook down there into AAA at a very high level and come out of the gates next year competing for a starting spot. I don't know.
Yeah,
but it would be fun to see him.
I do think the situation is different than it was with like Dylan Carlson or Gorman or Jordan Walker. Like none of them were performing at this high of a level at AAA or AA even, really.
And none of them had the prospect pedigree. Like, remember
Carlson.
Wetherholt. Right, but Wetherholt was at a time considered about to be the number 1 pick in the draft.
Oh, I see.
And fell
pre-draft.
And fell because of like his whole baseball career. Wetherholt has been like, this dude's the dude. Carlson, a top prospect in his own right. Walker, all of course, but this guy has been for a while now. Like he's going to be a successful major league hitter.
Yeah. A guy that you love to bring up throughout the year, I thought it'd be fun to check in on old Joshua Baez in AA. Through the entire month of August, he put up a 149 WRC plus. His slash line was 300, 389, 525, Nathan. He had 5 homers in August with 8 stolen bases, and he was only striking out 12.5% of the time. That is ridiculous, especially considering where this kid was even 12 months ago.
I know. I've been talking about it most of the season. He has made the hit tool gains that rarely happen at this point at a player in his development. But the fact that he's been doing it for such a high, at such a high level for such a long time now, and at the higher levels of the minors, you just have to believe it. Now, again, guys go on heaters and have incredible seasons at the minor league level, and it doesn't sustain. But this is another guy with a high prospect pedigree who stumbled out of the gates, but is still very young and is doing exactly what everyone hoped he would do. So, development is not linear. I'm at this point, I'm a real believer in Joshua Baez, and I not calling for him to be called up right now or anything like that. But I think you got a real prospect on your hands here, and I think he's going to have an impact at the major league level, likely as early as next year.
On the season, so he split time at High A. He was there for about 38 games, then went to Double A. He's been there for 70 games, so we got 108 games total. He has a 142 WRC plus across both stints. He has 17 home runs and a shocking 50 stolen bases. So he is maybe going to reach in 2 different leagues, a 2050, a 2060 season.
Yeah.
By the way, that strikeout rate has been on the whole year has been 21%. He's walking over 12% of the time. Everything looks, no matter how you look at it, everything looks really, really good.
And what is he, like 6'2", 6'3", 200 something? I mean,
6'3", 220, and just like, if you ever seen a picture of this kid, he is yoked. He's an intimidating guy.
Imagine Tyler O'Neill, but 6 inches taller.
Well, it's the same body as Mike Trout.
Yeah,
like 6'3", 220, just shit brick house looking guy, and fast, which. I'm just glad we have sports for these types of people, so they're not walking around with us. I want to bring up one other guy who we haven't talked about in a while, but that's Won-Bin Cho, who is, I think, similarly, like he's had a lot of hype and it's kind of gone away and it's come back and, yada, yada, yada. But in August at High A, he put up a 142 WRC plus. He has 5 homers and 11 stolen bases in that same amount of time and a 368 on base percentage. He does still strike out a decent amount, but everything else has really been trending the right way for Won-Bin Cho.
Yeah, it's exciting. He's a little further down the pipeline, but at times he has been, pretty well ranked, and there's been ups and downs, but again, that's to be expected. So, let's also throw in, I don't have the numbers in front of me, but Liam Doyle has looked good in his start, or at the very least, we're really excited about what he brings to the table. Like the Cardinals are, it's tough right now as a Cardinal fan, but there are some real real, there's still some real potential for some real stars coming down the line. And I'm very excited about it. Like, this team looks so different with Josh Baez and JJ Wetherholt on it than it does right now. Right. There's a fundamentally more athletic, different type of team than what we have right now.
Yeah. Yeah. That'll be a good day when that happens. And there's a lot that needs to be done to get there. But, Gorman is looking decent over a 30 at a nice play. We obviously think highly of Masyn Winn. Ivan Herrera is on a heater right now. Victor Scott, whether or not he is the guy or just a solid center fielder, I think that question. But Sajasi, I have a lot of faith in him. Like, there is young talent here. The pitching is obviously the scary part.
Right.
But we'll hopefully round into shape here.
Hopefully. So, well, that's going to wrap up this portion of the show, and we're going to talk about the upcoming series, talk a little bit about league news and some other things. But before we get to that, we want to remind our listeners that this show is listener supported on Patreon. Patreon.com/talkingaboutbirds. Check it out. We would love it if you would check it out. It's a great way to show your support directly to the show and to us for the time that we put to bring it to you every single week. And you can be a patron just like James. James, thank you so much for joining. We really, really appreciate you. Patreon.com/talkingaboutbirds. There's a bunch of different levels, bunch of different things. But everybody who subscribes gets access to our private Discord server. It's the Bird Scored. We're growing. We're a good community, and we're growing. And I think you out there would be a good part of it. So check it out. Otherwise, do us a favor. Pull out your little app there. Leave a little review. It takes a minute. It actually really does help. And also tell your friends and family. Yeah, Cardinal fan, it's kind of dark right now, but it's still baseball. It's still fun, right? So tell your friends about it. Check us out. We appreciate it. And Hambone, where can people find our other things online?
Yes, sir. We are on all the socials. You can find us over on Blue Sky, Instagram. We do have a TikTok. You can look at our faces on TikTok. If you prefer to listen to this show on Spotify, we're over there as well. You can like us and share us and I don't know, whatever. I like the idea. Add an episode to a playlist that you have shared with your friends. Spread the word. People like that. You can watch this show on YouTube. Yes, we upload the video version of this podcast to YouTube, so you can look at our faces. You can see what shirts we're wearing. Sometimes cats are walking around in the background, all that good stuff. You can find all the podcast information, including t-shirts, at talkingaboutbirds.com. You could email us at talkaboutbirds@gmail.com. And of course, you could call us and leave a voicemail or send us a text message to 848-48-BIRDS. That's 848-482-4737.
848-48-BIRDS. All right, Hambone. The Giants are coming to St. Louis 4-3.
Yeah. The Giants are a better team than your St. Louis Cardinals, Nathan.
Yes.
Right now, Rafi Devers is hot as the sun. Did you see him get in a fight with my Rockies yesterday on Tuesday?
I did. He hit a home run so hard that it made everybody mad, including himself.
There were punches thrown. That was a real baseball fight. How often do we get that?
You don't get a lot of fights like that. Not actual punches thrown.
No, you really don't. I thought that was exciting. Kyle Freeland, you're not good. People like Rafi Devers are going to take you deep. Sorry, pal. But Rafi Devers has been great, which is funny because the Giants have not been great, but he has been great. No. Willy Adames has really had a nice season. I know, I think we talked about this. You were kind of worried about him going to that ballpark, and I think a lot of people were, but he has been doinking dongs and is a very good defensive shortstop. He's just really kind of locked it down for them. They still have Matt Chapman. Jung-Hoo Lee is healthy. This team has got some exciting players. I really like Heliot Ramos. Jeez. So, yeah, this is the team that I like. They're not a great team. They have their warts. Andrew Kisner is rostered on their 26-man their expanded roster right now. So I think that should tell you what you need to know about this club. But yeah, they're fun. More interesting than the Cardinals right now.
For sure. Willy Adames, I was definitely tooting the horn that I thought it was a bad idea. And I obviously have to say that I've been wrong as far as the total value goes. He's been worth 3.5 WAR for that team already. So obviously having a pretty good year. My concern was his offense, and he's hitting home runs way more than I expected. He still only has a 109 WRC plus, but he's a pretty good defender. So you'll certainly take that above average offense, like slightly above average offense with the defense that he's providing. We'll see how long that stays, but he certainly is hitting home runs, which is surprising to me.
He is 30. Is today's birthday? I think today might be his happy birthday, Willy Adames.
Wow. Free Willy Adames.
Looks like the Cardinals in game 1 on Friday, they're going to face Carson Seymour. Then we have Justin Verlander going against
that guy.
Andre Palante. That'll be exciting. And then Kai Wei
the
Tang.
Old and the new, two aces in peak form ready for a battle. Verlander and Palante.
Kai Wei Tang is going to be doing the Sunday game, and I will tell you, this is somebody who I have never heard of. Looks like he has had an all right start to his young career. He's been in the big leagues for 1 second. And JV has been not the worst pitcher in baseball, where he was earlier this year. He has had strung together some decent starts.
He's been better.
He has.
Yeah. And for a 42-year-old at the major league level, it's pretty incredible.
It is. I think he might go to the Hall of Fame, that guy.
You think so?
But not a crazy difficult matchup pitching wise for the Cardinals. Maybe they will not just sell out on one pitch and have some success. But I think the Giants are unfortunately a better team than the Cardinals are right now.
Yeah. Well, when you're a power starved team like the Cardinals, and you're looking for something to make yourself feel better, maybe put a few on the board. You can't be any more excited than heading up to Seattle, home of the increased gravity. The worst power hitting ballpark in baseball, unless your name is Cal Raleigh.
Yeah.
And Julio, who's, doing his typical second half explosion. But the Cardinals are going to play the Mariners.
Yep.
A fun team, an exciting team in Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you feeling about this one?
They are a good team that got, I think, a lot better at the deadline. Kyle Raleigh, I think he hit 50, was it 51 or 52 last night? So that's
in one game?
Yes.
51?
Yes. And what is exciting is that the Mariners did just call up a highly touted prospect, Harry Ford, catching prospect. It looks like he'll be starting here very soon, maybe to take some of the load off of Cal Raleigh's plate and maybe have Raleigh DH a little bit more. But, to remind everyone, Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez got traded to them at the deadline. So their corners look a lot better. Jorge Polanco has had this kind of weird, crazy season where he is just hitting the snot out of the ball. And from a pitching standpoint, it doesn't get any easier. The Cardinals are going to face Brian Wu, George Kirby, and Logan Gilbert.
Yeah, they're top three, arguably. I mean, their pitching staff is so good. Any of the five, with those three, you're missing Bryce Miller and Luis Castillo, also great pitchers.
Yeah.
So there's really not three that you want from there. There's not a single one from those.
But those
five
are the worst three for us to face.
Those are the worst three. It's three. It's 1, 2, and 3. And I was looking it up too to see. Yes, Kyle Raleigh is going to get a game of ABs against Miles Michaelis. So I don't know. Maybe he gets to 60 in this game. We'll see. But yeah, this will be tough. I'm very interested to see how McGreevy does.
Yeah.
This is a ballpark that should play to his strengths. And Liberator is also pitching, who, just seems gassed at this point, but I'm glad he's still out there throwing. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, it's. I think you hit the nail on the head. There's more gravity. The pitching's good. It's going to be hard for the Cardinals to scrape across a couple of runs. And we don't have a Cal Raleigh. We don't have a J-Rod. It's
interestingly, I meant to ask this earlier. Have you seen anything about Wilson Contreras and his suspension either? Because he appealed it, and we still haven't heard anything yet. So I'm waiting for it to happen.
I'm sure that there is something out there. I don't know how long this arbitration process. I'll why don't you keep the show moving, and I'll see if I can find out right now.
Well, I'm curious about it because it's coming. It's probably, whatever happens, it's probably coming down soon. And so imagining the Cardinals going to play maybe in Seattle without Wilson makes me think there's not going to be a single Cardinal home run that weekend or that series, except for maybe Gorman. But it doesn't bode well if we lose our best hitter or, top 3 hitter going into that series. But I thought it was going to happen already, and I was worried about that with the Cincinnati Red series, and we got him that whole series too. So, and ultimately, I guess it doesn't really matter.
I'm searching the World Wide Web, and I'm finding no recent reporting on that. So if you
don't you dare scroll down past that Google AI overview.
Oh, I accidentally had it turned off.
What?
Let me here. I'll redo this. Sorry.
This show is only sourced via the top line Google AI overview. We will not accept information from anywhere else.
Right. It's based on recent reports from late August. He's going to serve a 6-game suspension. He was ejected. It gives the reasoning for ejection and games played.
There's the answer. 6 games. It's been decided.
Okay.
Great. All right.
Yep.
All right, Ambo. Let's go into some league news.
Yeah, let's talk about it. The Red Sox have extended Aroldis Chapman. He will earn $12 million in 26. He will earn $12 million in 13 in 2027. Did you see the Buster Olney report saying that the reason Aroldis Chapman is having a good season is because he is now aiming his fastball?
I saw something to that extent, and there's like how he made an adjustment in this year to be even better. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I hate this guy for a lot of reasons, but if he's made it, he's the anti to all the, like what we were just saying, like, you got to prepare, you got to And it's like, there are also these guys who just show up, do their thing. It works for them. And then they go home and make millions, and he just goes up there, throws as hard as he can. No one can hit it. And now at 35 years old or whatever, he's like, I'll make a little adjustment. Maybe I'll try.
Buster Olney, he's been reporting baseball since I can remember. It sounds bogus to me. I would just be shocked to learn that a major league pitcher who has been in the league for as long as he has just now thought about aiming his fastball.
Yeah, because what does that even mean? He never aimed it.
To me,
like
he was just throwing it, at the plate.
See where it goes.
It's 100+ miles per hour. Good luck. It is the reason why I'm even bringing it up is because it is plausible. Because when he came onto the scene, he was like sitting 102, 103. So yeah. I don't know, but anyways, the bad man gets paid more. Good for him.
Yeah.
This guy will be in the Hall of Fame. He is a one-of-one unicorn freak show. So that part, even though he does suck, that part is exciting from a purely baseball standpoint.
Sure.
Major League Baseball and the Players Association have agreed to extend the non-disciplinary paid leave for Emmanuel Clase and Luis Ortiz until further notice as the league continues its sports betting investigation into both Cleveland Guardians pitchers. They were previously placed on paid leave through August 31st. Seems very unlikely that they will rejoin the Guardians this season and or ... ever.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, when Luis Ortiz, you're like, oh, that's interesting. But then when arguably the best reliever on a Hall of Fame path, his own right, reliever gets hit in the same thing, it becomes a much bigger story. I don't know what to add to this other than, the notes that we've said over and over and over. I'm not surprised. I think this sort of thing is going to continue. as our stadiums and networks and whatnot are branded as sports betting things, and sports betting is like the core of sports in America right now. And so to expect guys in sports to not try to do it and get away with it is, crazy. I mean, all you can do is this, the punishment is quite clear. It's pretty intense. And clearly there is some really good research going into catching these guys. So I don't think this is necessarily, I don't know what MLB could do other than just like be so anti gambling that they don't allow it to be like marketed at their games. But the owners only care about money, and so that's never going to happen.
Can you gamble?
This,
on
of course,
podcast?
brought to you by. Ooh,
could you like we were talking about you getting to talk enough earlier? Like, could you gamble on like I think Nate's going to get a 51% share of the talking time of this episode and place a over under bet on that?
Than that. I don't think that exists right now, but
we should launch it. We should launch it.
Yeah, well, you could go on like Polymarket or something and probably make that, but whether there's a market for it, I hope there is.
Hit us
I hope
up
we
on
get to the point.
Blue Sky.
Yeah.
Let us know. Do you want to be able to bet on that? What hat is Ben going to be wearing this episode? All right. Claimed off.
I'm going to get suspended for betting on my own talk time. Well, I am a proud member of the podcast union. So I don't know. I guess maybe I should avoid that sort of thing.
I cannot believe that you put the union together in the time of this episode. That's impressive.
Maybe the podcast union should be pro gambling on podcasts.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. All right. Ha-Seong Kim of the Rays was claimed off waivers and is now Atlanta's starting shortstop. IKF also moved. I don't know if you saw that, but he is now a Blue Jay. We got shortstop still moving somehow. Atlanta not going to a playoff, so less relevant, but kind of crazy that a once great all-star Ha-Seong Kim is just kind of now a Brave just because.
Yeah, I think some of this, I don't know off the top of my head what his contract was with the Rays, but I assume they just didn't want to pay him. I can't imagine this isn't about skill and long-term viability. It's just the Rays and they don't want to pay him, so they give him over to the Braves. It won't surprise me if the Braves are able to unlock this guy again. He's still young enough. I think has a lot of upside still. So probably a good move by the Braves.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this to me is just a typical Rays dump sort of thing.
I agree. That is all the league news I have for you this week, Nathan.
All right, Hambone. Well, I think it's that time again to return to. Wait, Hambone, don't move. Don't move. I hope you don't have like a cut on your leg or anything. I can see there in the distance.
A lot better when you had the music.
Doll's eyes. Oh God, Hambone. Okay, the card shark is here. I can see it coming up.
Are you going to put the music in post?
We'll see if I remember. And what do you mean I put the music in? That is the music that naturally happens when the card shark appears.
Oh, okay, my bad.
And it's here, and we have to appease it. So let me see if I've got anything around here. Oh, right there. I got myself a pack of Topps Series 1 2025 edition.
I really, if you're not watching the podcast on YouTube, you're really only getting half the story. I just want to plug it one more time.
I mean, I was terrified. Here we go. We're just ripping packs on this show.
Big shit-eating grin on your face.
People like this stuff, don't they? All right. Let's see what we got here. So the way this game works, Ben has to appease the card shark. We're going to test his knowledge of MLB at a higher level. I'm going to name the player on the card, and then he has to tell me the team he's on and the position he plays.
Wow.
I, of course, have the card from the beginning of the year, so I'm really looking for that. But if you tell me who they're on now, I suppose that'll be worthwhile too. All right. Card number 1, Nolan Schanuel.
Nolan Schanuel is the first baseman for the Angels.
That's right. Kind of a rare hit first, low power first baseman.
Wow. Not my guy, I'll tell you that. Don't like him.
Not a traditionally successful first base profile. I think they hope in time he will develop power.
My favorite thing about him is that his off-season training regimen, he was recommended standing more. Did you read that?
Hey, yeah, of course. We talked about it at the time too. Just I recommended that to myself. That's why I'm still doing the standing podcast thing.
Incredible to watch, folks. Another reason to check us out on YouTube.
I'm in peak form. Reese Olson.
Oh, God. I know him. But he's like one of those. Where the hell is Reese Olson? I want to say Tigers relief pitcher.
You are close. He is a Tigers starter. Reese Olson.
Sorry, Reese.
Yep. Okay. Logan Webb.
Borderline ace. Is Logan Webb an ace?
This year he has been. Strikeouts are up. I haven't looked at it for a little while, but he was contending for Cy Young. I don't know if he's stumbled recently, but he's been good this year. I mean, he's always been good, but the strikeouts weren't there. But he's been striking people out this year.
Oh, he's pretty good, that guy. San Francisco Giants starting pitcher.
There we go. Okay. Comeback of the century happening right now. Will Smith.
Well, this is difficult because there are two Will Smiths. Wait, is the other Will Smith out of baseball?
I think the one that you might be worried is out of baseball, I think is out of baseball.
Okay. Catcher for your Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yes, and of course I refer to the slap heard around the world. Will Smith. Have you seen any of the stuff, like any of his freestyles?
I have.
Yeah.
It is I don't know, embarrassing.
Yeah, and also I would say it seems to me that he is trying to basically this is what he's trying to do. I'm not saying he's very successful at all, but he's trying to do sort of a Kanye thing with his music and his stage performance. Maybe he's thinking, oh, there's a gap now and people like there could be the new Kanye. But I think it's very funny if that's the case for a guy who's under a lot of controversy to think, you know what I'll do? I'll evoke the image of Kanye in my comeback. It's bad. Because you see he's doing the thing where like he speaks in full auto tune and just like walks around on stage doing stream of consciousness thing, like a direct ripoff of Kanye's old bit.
No, I have not. You've interacted with it far more than I have, and may God bless your soul.
Yeah, it's fascinating. All right, Jose Caballero.
Jose Caballero is a New York Yankee utility player.
Yes, of course, traded at the deadline. And he is depicted as his starting team, which was a Tampa Bay Ray, wearing a cool Devil Rays
Very cool.
throwback.
Love those throwbacks.
Yeah. Nico Cavadas. Cavadas.
Oh yes. He's like a backup first base catcher type, right? Like Nico Cavadas, right? Yeah, I think. Why do I want to say Angels again? Or did I say Angels already? I want to say first base catcher Angels.
Hambone, I would not have gotten this one. I did not know it. You are correct. That's a rookie card, baby. See that little RC in the corner?
Ooh, hold on to that.
Yeah. It's listed as first base for the Angels. Logan O'Hoppe.
Hey, starting catcher for the Angels.
That's right. Great name.
I like him too. He's got thump, good defensive catcher, rocket arm. I like him.
Yeah, I like him too. Lamonte Wade Jr.
It's just Lamont. But he is. Oh shit! He was a Giant forever. Is he still on the Giants? I feel like he was moved recently. Lamont, where are you? Is he? Did he go to the Padres? Is he a daddy? Yeah, I think he's a dad now. Is he a dad now? He was probably on that
Well-
card. He's a giant, but I think he might be a dad now.
He is on the card a giant.
I'm gonna look it up. Where are you, Lamont?
You didn't say what position he plays.
Oh, first base, outfield.
There you go.
He is currently a free agent.
Great.
He was traded to the Angels, and then they dropped him. Okay.
All right. A few more for you. Joey Cantillo.
Joey Cantillo. Oof. That sounds like a relief pitcher. Joey Cantillo. Wait. Is he a A's relief pitcher?
No. He is, I believe he's in the rotation right now. He's a pitcher for the Guardians.
Oh, wow.
He may be a reliever.
Swing and a miss.
Okay. Ooh, you get a special card in here. Let's see.
Charizard.
Gunnar Henderson. You ever heard of this guy?
Shortstop for your Baltimore Orioles.
Look at that shiny.
Ooh. Hold on to that.
Oh yeah. It's funny actually. We've been doing this game long enough that I have like a Gunnar Henderson rookie card, a Corbin Carroll rookie card.
Hey.
I've got like some actually, kind of fun ones. All right, one last one for you, Hambone. Ryan Pepio.
Ryan Pepio, Dodgers farmhand that was traded to the Rays for, I can't remember. I'm just going for bonus points, but he is a starting pitcher for the Rays.
That's right. I'd say he's more than a farmhand. He's pretty good.
Well, he was on the Dodgers. He was a farmhand.
I see.
Nathan.
Okay. Well, Hambone, I think you did enough to satiate the card shark for now. At least we'll see if it ever returns. Do people like this game? I don't know. People like ribbon packs. You missed Reese Olson, and Joey Cantillo.
Yeah, so. Sorry guys.
All right. Well, with that, we're gonna wrap this episode up. Thank you all for being here. As always, check out the Patreon, patreon.com/talkingaboutbirds, and all of our links at talkingaboutbirds.com. We'll be back next week, as always. And until next week, I'm just going to keep saying it. Go Cardinals.
Bring up JJ.